Have you ever wondered if a warm-up could be more than a warm-up? Well, let me show you something that we do at KMAA to make that happen. During our warm-up series, we have 4 phases. Phase 1 is going to be upper body. So Coach Emily here will go into our deep lunge for me. And what we're going to aim for here is we're going to keep both toes pointing forward, and she's going to take an arm and reach up. This is going to get some rotation through her spine and her shoulders as well. And then she'll switch to the other side after she does her own rotations. And again, the big focus here is to keep both toes pointed the same direction and then taking your arms on both sides straight up towards the ceiling. Modifications, we can have your knee down if you need your knee to go down. You can have your arm up or your knee up if that's something that you can handle. We can also come all the way up into this position if you have any type of knee or hip pain as well. If you have any other specific modifications, always feel free to ask a coach. Part 2 of our upper body stretch is going to be our cat-cow into our exploding beast. We're going to raise our spine up into this cat position, trying to get this nice arch. And then we drop down into cow, where we try to pull our belly button towards the ground as we raise our head up towards the ceiling. From that point, Coach Emily's going to rock her hip or her weight to her toes and explode forward into a push-up plank. On this one, the goal is to have strong frames by stacking joints, getting your shoulder, your elbow, and your wrist in a straight line without bulldogging your elbows outward. This will be super important in any version of jiu-jitsu or wrestling, for what it's worth. We're going to move into our last part of our upper body series. This will be our scapular press. You'll go into a push-up position. Keep in mind that if you need to do this on your knees, you are more than welcome to. What we're attempting to do here is imagine that you had a hand right in between your shoulder blades, and you're going to pinch that hand with your shoulder blades. You were trying to do a push-up. You're trying to drop your shoulder blades towards one another and then raise it back up. You're going to set that with some shoulder taps in the process. So get a couple reps, getting some shoulder taps. And again, you can do this at your own speed. You can mix and match. But what we're attempting to do here is get all of your fight muscles, fight joints activated in the upper body. Moving into phase 2 of our warm-up series, instead of the upper body, obviously we've got to go low. So this time we're going to start with our duck walk. Now, Coach Emily is fairly flexible here. So the main thing here is to go as low as you can with flat feet, okay? So she's going to take a few steps forward, and then once she gets there, she's going to swivel 1, swivel 2, get her feet flat again, and then walk it backwards, nice and slow, and then swivel again. Keep in mind, if you're not as flexible, the goal is to have flat feet. So if you need to come up a little bit higher, as long as the feet are flat, that's what we're aiming for, more than just being in a position low with your toes up in the air, your heels up in the air. Moving on to the second part of this warm-up, we're going to go Cossack squat, kind of keeping the same idea in line. You go as low as you can with a flat foot. So you can see right here that Coach Emily has a flat foot on this side and her toes pointed up in the other on the straight leg. If you can go lower, but only to the degree that this foot stays flat and that toe stays pointed to the ceiling. If for whatever reason you are hypermobile and you need to get more of a stretch, you can take your elbow and push your bent knee out by pressing, just like Coach Emily is, out to the side, just like that. The third stretch in phase 2 is going to be our inchworm into our scorpion. Okay, so you're going to inchworm by stretching through the hammies and then walking your arms out, dropping all the way to neutral, and then pulling your arms out into this power T position. Now, the most important part of this one is to keep your shoulders and chest as flat as you can while you hit the scorpion. So she's going to take a leg, keeping that upper body flat, and then pulling this direction. Depending on how flexible you are, this might be exclusively a lower back exercise. But for those of you who are more flexible, such as Emily, you might be getting more of a quad and hip opener as well, and then you will rotate the opposite direction, just like that. Whenever we're done with this series, you'll bring your arms back underneath you, drive yourself back up, and then work your way back up to a standing position. The last lower body stretch in phase 2 is going to be our A-frame skips. Really slowly without the skip, this is bringing your knee up, setting it down, and then bringing your knee out as a hip opener. And then you'll do the other side, knee up, and then bringing it back down, knee out. Now, if you have a little bit more athleticism, you're going to hit that skipping mechanic where you skip up and out, skip up and out, just like that. Make sure that as you do this, if you want to get more of a beneficial stretch that applies directly one-for-one to MMA, as she brings this foot up, she is going to flex her toes towards her shins. This is your butterfly hooks. This is your leg checks. This is a lot of what we do here in any version of martial arts. Moving on to phase 3. Phase 3 is where we're going to get a little bit more of an accelerated heart rate, and we're going to be working on our fast twitch muscle fibers, which is obviously important for any sport that you do, specifically martial arts. Part 1 of this is going to be your sprawl into 4 strikes. A sprawl is just a way to defend a double leg takedown. She's going to throw her legs back almost like a burpee, but put a hip on the ground. As she comes up, she's assuming that a person is right around here and they're about to get punched in the face. So her first strike will be low, and then she can use that strike to work herself up. Her last strike is probably going to be a little bit lower as well because they're coming right back for another takedown into another sprawl. So you do that quickly at your own speed, like so, for 30 seconds. Then again, you will get your heart rate up on this one. Moving on to part 2, you have pogo jumps. Pogo jumps, you can see at any fight at any level. This is how most people kind of stay warm. It is a jump with minimal knee movement. What we're trying to do here is get our feet flexed by keeping our heels relatively off the ground, making sure that our feet, our ankles, and our calves are constantly loaded, full of a spring that allows you to have that fast twitch movement in any direction. The last movement in our phase 3 is going to be our short chops into our jumps. So what we're going to do is we're going to just hit short chopping steps, like so, like that. And whenever I say go, or whenever your coach has a whistle, they will jump as high as they can, tucking their knees up, hit a 180 and keep chopping. So it'll look something and sound something like this. They chop, and then somebody will say go, or jump. And again, we're just looking for that fast twitch muscle fiber work going multiple directions. And lastly, phase 4 is our proprioceptive work. If I had to define proprioception easily, it's just the ability to connect your brain to your own body in such a way where they work harmoniously with one another. The first part that we're going to do is our single leg hinge. Start with your eyes open, and Coach Emily is going to hinge on one leg and slowly touch the ground, and then slowly come up. To make that harder, if that is easy for you, you're going to do it with eyes closed, with no visual cueing. It is going to be significantly harder to not wobble, but that's not the goal. The goal is to find those wobbles and sort them out and still be able to maintain the ability to do that single leg hinge. Good job. I fell. The second part of this, we're going to go back down to the ground. You're going to start in a tabletop position. And you want to imagine that you have a water bottle resting on the small of your back here. Once that is flat, you're going to raise your knees about 2 inches off the ground, trying to maintain a flat back. And then the coach of that class will say something along the lines of raise your left hand. You are going to try to modify your muscles to keep this as flat as possible while doing some version of picking a limb up. It might be your arms, it might be your legs, or it might be your legs and your arms. And again, the goal here is to not be completely rigid and not move the entire time. The goal is to find those wobbles and then figure out how to correct those wobbles, because that is not just MMA, that is all sports. It's just being able to correct your body in the midst of something that is very difficult. Third section of our proprioceptive phase is going to be our sit-outs. You're going to go into that exact same position we were just previously, with that upright tabletop position. What we're going to do here is you're going to replace your left hand with your right hand. So you're just going to cross that hand over, and then you're going to sit out just like that. Now look right here that there's very little space between her hand and her butt. And that's going to be super important here. As she brings it back, she will do the same thing on the other side, where she replaces her hand, hits the sit out into 2 points of contact. Her butt is not touching. And then she resumes back to 4 points of contact, just like that. If you'll hit another set for me. 2 points, back to 4 points, switching of the hands, 2 points, back to 4 points. And the last section of our proprioceptive phase is where you get to make a buddy. So you're gonna have a partner and you're going to face them, and one of you will be the leader of this party and the other person will be the shadow of this party. So the lead, and we'll just say it's me for this one, is going to take specifically short steps, not big steps, in a confined area, and I'm attempting to lose my shadow. So at the lowest level, it's just sliding back and forth. I try to chop this way, this way. Coach Emily will try to keep up with me while I constantly try to lose her. If you want to make this more difficult with your partner, have a little bit more fun, you can start adding some level changes, into some jumps, into some dance moves maybe. You don't have to do the last part. But either way, after about 30 seconds or so, you'll just switch the jobs. So the next phase, or the next section, the other person leads the dance, and then I have to follow them. In most gyms, warm-ups are just a thing that warms up the body, and it has no correlation to what it is that you're about to do. Here at KMAA, we believe that the brain and body are so connected that in order to warm up properly, you must be able to do both, and that's what this workout or this warm-up is for. It is not a separate part of class, it is one of the most important parts of your class. You will get a workout, you will get a stretch, and more importantly, your brain and your body will be way more connected to one another than they were before you did this.